Here. Here. Our next item is to discuss the consent matters. Is there any of the consent matters? We'll start on page 2, that run through to page 4. Are there any items in the consent calendar that the board would like to discuss? Are they ready to pass those along? Yes.
Chairman, I would like to move to approve the executive officer. At today's legal committee, they asked that items A, C, and E under new business be moved to the consent calendar, and as such, they would be moved to agenda items 3, C, 11, and 12.
Are these items that you would like to discuss, or can they be approved when we get to the consent calendar? Okay, so then we want to move forward then. They have to be approved today's agenda. Anyone, is there a motion to approve today's agenda? Support, Mr. Baker, Mr. Miller, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item is item number 5, the consent calendar. Is there a motion to approve those items on the consent calendar? Been moved by Brett Wilkie, supported by Mr. Brown. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries. The next item is the public should be aware that on today's agenda, we have both public comment and public hearings on our proposed biennial budget as well for fiscal year 2026-2027. The proposed biennial budget that is the subject of today's public hearing reflects our financial plan and covers fiscal year 2026 and 2027 ending June 30th, 2027, and fiscal year 27-28 ending June 30th, 2028. The proposed schedule of revenue and charges covers fiscal year 2026, 2027, ending on June 30th, 2027. Today's public hearings are an opportunity for members of the public to raise issues that they would like this board and the authority to consider as part of this biennial budget and schedule of revenue and charges. In addition, as a part of this hearing, members of the public may comment on the portions of the proposed capital improvement plan for fiscal years 2026-2027 through 2030-2031. Which are reflected in the budget and charters. To reduce confusion, we will open our public comment period and public hearing concurrently so that members of the public will be able to address matters of general concern and/or the proposed budget and charges without having to determine when the appropriate time is to raise those issues. We will start our public participation by hearing from the members of the public who are physically present in the room today. If a member of the public who is physically present at the meeting wishes to address the board, they may do so by approaching the podium during the opportunity for public participation. After hearing from members of the public who are physically present, We will continue our public participation with members of the public who are participating virtually. A member of the public who is present at the meeting via Zoom and wishes to participate in the meeting in the public hearing may do so by raising their hand with the program icon or by pressing *9 on their telephone. Finally, written comments submitted by members of the public have been received by the board and will be made a part of the record of the public hearing. Each member of the public who wishes to participate will be given up to 33 minutes to address this board.
33.
Anybody have any questions on
Here
this?
till next week.
So, item 7A.
I'll give you 30 of mine.
On the proposed fiscal year 27 and fiscal year 28 biennial budget request. Ms. Basin, would you please? Yes.
You would open that public hearing, then you would call for the second public hearing on the charges.
Okay, thank you. Sorry.
Motion to open the public hearing on the budget.
Moved by Mr. Henry, supported by Mr. Rosie. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
And now, Mr. Chairman, you open.
Just want to remind the speakers, you have 3 minutes.
Mr. Chairman, you have cards. I apologize to the public. I didn't know that we had turned in cards, so we would call the cards first and then ask the public. If you haven't turned in a card, of course, the public.
Yeah, I just realized, that we have, is it Joanna waiting? Thank you.
Okay. Hello, my name is Joanna Whaley. I'm here today to speak on behalf of the many residents that I speak with in the communities of Allen Park, Lincoln Park, Melvindale, and Southgate, my Downriver area. Our community is already struggling to make ends meet. When we have residents who make between $20,000 to $30,000 a year, we are having to choose which bill not to pay. So when we have to be faced with each and every month rising bills, and which bill do we not pay today? These are easy choices to make to experience a rise in your bill when you're making over $100,000 a year, but my community does not. So I am here to ask you today to find it in your heart and be creative. Find a way to say no to rising our bills again, because it's not just you rising bills, it's GTE, it's every convenience store, it's every grocery store. Bills are going up everywhere. Don't make us make the decision between medication, food, and a bill. Thank you.
Next is Cecily McClellan.
Cecily McClellan. I'm with We the People of Detroit, and we are opposed to this waterway increase. And although we have been assured by the Department of Water and Sewage that we should see more than a 4% waterway increase, we would like to see no increase. Right. We have approximately over 60,000 residents in the city of Detroit who are maybe under 200% of poverty, who are eligible for a water affordability program and an assistance program. These people cannot afford to continually see each year the water rates increase over 4-5%. It is unsustainable for our residents. On a regular basis, we are receiving calls of residents who have already enrolled in the Easy Pay program, but because of higher arrearages, they have found it difficult to pay their current bill as well as the proportionate amount that is for the arrears. And just recently, in all fairness, that program has been extended to persons with arrearages. But the problem is that the bills are too large and that they are not affordable. And that we no longer have a lifeline program that is capable of servicing the residents in the city who cannot afford it. As indicated by the previous person, bills are increasing throughout. All bills are increasing. Mortgages, rent, water, food, and water is a human right. Water, clean, safe, and affordable water is a necessity. So we ask that this water rate not be increased and that it not be passed on wholesale or any type of way to the city of Detroit residents. Thank you.
The next speaker is Mr. Davis. Russell Davis.
Yes, sir. I know it's a hard name. It's okay. It's all right. My name is Mr. Wadsworth Davis. I'm a former football city council person in the city of Flint, Michigan. I am in agreement with the residents in Detroit that increasing our water rates and our bills is becoming a damper on our paychecks, a damper on our pockets. Flint, Michigan is an impoverished city. And 44% of the people that live in the city of Flint, Michigan are poverty stricken. But I also want to say this. You guys put a cap on everybody else when it came to the water rates besides Flint, Michigan. And the cap that you placed on everybody else, from what I've read in this contract, is 4% for them. You raised our water bill 2% last year, you raised it 4% upon the time that you got the contract. That made it 6%. Now it's estimated to be 6 to 12% in 2027. That's 18% on a 30-year contract. That is extremely high with 20 more years left on this contract. That means if we do that in 20 more years, keep it at that pace, it would be 54% at the height. But I also want to stay on the discrepancies in this contract. This contract, the verbiage in this contract should be revised, and this contract should be challenged. You guys, some of you guys might not be on board, but this contract says that the City of Flint, Department of Environmental Quality of the State of Michigan, the Genesee County Planning Commission, the Great Lakes Water Authority, and the Cary County Water Authority have worked on collaboration for the purposes of effectuating, which approving the overall agreement described in the statement of the parties and dated April 18, 2017. Let's stop there. April 18, 2017 was 7-8 months before you guys even got the contract. But you guys got on here that this contract was effectuated on April 18, 2017. That is a discrepancy that's in the contract, and that should be removed, and the contract should be modified. Or it should be brought into a legal team and taken to court. Because you got on here that this was dated on April the 18th, 2017, but at the top of it, by the R tab, is 11/29/2017. And you made it effectuated on April the 18th, 2017. That is discrepancies in the contract that need to be brought to a legal team, and it may have to be maybe taken to court, because that is a discrepancy in the binding contract. And if that is a discrepancy in the binding contract, then this contract should be considered null and void when it comes to the residents of the city of Michigan. You cannot say that a contract was effectuated on April 18, 2017, when the contract was only voted on 11/21/2017. And it was signed on the 29th, 7 months later. But you backdated it and said that it was April 18, 2017. Council members at that time were saying no to this contract because that contract had already had abusive language in it, and you also wanted to buy our bond of our Cary County pipeline that was going to actually take our independence. So what I'm asking is to be.
Our next speaker is Tommy Perry.
I just came down from the Woodbridge neighborhood to speak on behalf of my neighbors. I'll just follow up with what these other speakers have said already. I'm exhorting you to not raise rates on water. I had a conversation with a Detroit resident out in the lobby, whose DTE bill was $700 last month. So here we are in the coldest winter in recent memory, and we're talking about the possibility of raising water rates. This is immoral, and it's immoral because we do not have an affordability program in place. We have an assistance program that's going to run out of money, and it's not going to be available for the numbers of Detroiters who actually need help in the city. I'm exhorting you, do not increase rates on water. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker is Michael Clark.
Black.
Sorry.
Thank you, y'all. Good afternoon. Michael Black. I'm a proud lifelong resident of Flint, and I'm here today because I believe that decisions like this need to be examined, not just for what they generate revenue, but for what they require from the people who have to live with. Right now, the city of Flint pays approximately $593,000 every single month from fixed charges alone. Even if we don't do one single drop of water, that's more than $7 billion a year to stay connected to you all's system. That's before we need payment. This is before we our actual pay. I'm sorry, excuse me. Before we pay for any of our actual water usage. Yet, despite that level of financial commitment, Flint residents are now facing another rate increase. When this contract was entered into, the expectation was that annual rate increases would fall in the range of 2 to 4%. Now those increases are being projected as high as 8%. That's not a small adjustment. That's a significant difference. And it deserves serious consideration. I'm an intelligent man, and I understand simple economics. I understand that infrastructure must be maintained. And I understand that long-term systems require long-term investment. And I understand that Glwa has financial obligations it must meet. But I also understand the numbers no longer reflect increased demand and instead reflect the weight of past decisions and future obligations, because Flint is not using more water. Our population has declined. Our industrial base has declined. And our usage has declined. So this increase is not about increased consumption. It's about cost structure. And I want to be clear. I'm not standing here suggesting that Glwa does not have authority or responsibility. But you have to understand this. These may be just numbers on the spreadsheet to you, but there are past due bills and shut-off numbers for them. And that reality should matter when these decisions are made. Because Flint is already paying millions every year, regardless of how much water we use. Which means the question in front of this board is bigger than that. It's a question of balance. It's a question of fairness. And it's a question of leadership. Because systems like these don't succeed based on infrastructure alone. They succeed based on trust. And right now, the people of Flint are watching. They're watching to see whether their voices matter. They're watching to see whether their sacrifices matter. And they're watching to see whether the people in this room are able to recognize the difference between what can be done and what should be done. Because at some point, every governing body faces a moment where they have to decide, will we simply follow the formula or will we lead? And today I'm asking you to lead. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Black. Our next speaker is Audrey Muhammad.
Good afternoon. I thank you all for the opportunity for us to be able to come down. This is my first time coming down, but I am a resident of Flint. I was there prior to, for the, we all know, water rights. My water rates have increased tremendously. I was blessed to be able to get a full house filtration system put in my home, but I still have to incur the cost of replacing those filters every year. You can see I have my family back here. I have 6 of my grandchildren and my daughter here. That's kind of high for us to be paying extra money. And, you know, we have to go to different services to try to get assistance to help paying, and they don't only pay for the past due amount. Right now, today, for tomorrow, I'm paying hundreds of shut-off notices to residents of Flint right now due to high water bills. Y'all, if you don't know, Flint is one of the highest cities in the country that pay for water. So we have that extra cost that's coming in on us, plus there's things that can happen. We need water affordability in Flint. However, where does that come from? You know, you got to fight to get in, to get any kind of assistance to try to pay. And if you work during the day, you screwed up because guess what? That's the only time they open for you to get assistance during the day. So the whole poor working class kind of left to the side. You know, it's almost like you can't work in order to get assistance because if you have work, you got to wait on somebody to call you back, but you on your job. Now you put yourself in jeopardy. So it's a double-edged sword for many of us that live in place. But our working poor, you know, I'm listening to what everybody else is saying, and I'm riding on their back because I agree with everything that they have said. But like I say, Flint has a lot of shut-off notices that's due tomorrow for shut-off because they're not able to pay even the minimum amount that is required. We just ask for your assistance, your consideration when we raise the water rates. I understand inflation happens. You know, we understand that, but I understand that business side of it too. You know, water is increasing. But just think about myself. I don't only have a water bill to pay, but I gotta make sure that I keep filtered just to keep clean water. And no, Flint water is not clean, because when my filters get old, we get rashes. So it is not clean. They keep lying and saying that, but it ain't clean. The pipes haven't been finished in Flint. That cost is coming back on us as a resident. It's not going to anybody else, but they gonna find the money somewhere, and it's going on us. And we already got slapped in the face for what we received, because I had no physical interest that they could claim, only got $1,000 as a settlement. No chance for nothing else. That don't take care of the filters that I bought for my house. It don't take care of the cases of water that I can bring in. We got babies and children. I can't mess with that water that's coming into that house. I still don't trust it, even with the still pressure system. That's just for us to be able to shower and wash. I thank you all. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Arthur Woodson.
Good afternoon. Let's start off by saying this legal should even be here right now. Because it's giving to under false pretense. Glwa and KWA. You don't have any access. And Kevin Orr gave you all this. And it was a Ponzi scheme or a type of scheme that messed up. We should have a person from Flint on this board because that was part of the contract when this first happened. Where is our representative from Flint? Also, let me read this to you, because I didn't see this in any notification or anything. In the contract, it states, as soon as possible, in the charge making process, Glwa should provide information on proposed charges and the draft data and information used in the calculation of proposed charges in a format that will enable customers to assist in the charge making process. Not less than 30 calendar days prior to the hearing required by Act 279, Glwa should provide customers with written notice of a proposed charge and the underlying data used to calculate the charge. Glwa should meet with the customer to review the charges and the data. Was this done? We didn't hear it. We are a customer, not just the city of Flint, not just the mayor, not just the city council, but the resident is the customer of Glwa. So we should have seen the calculation, how y'all came up with this rate increase. And then also, it states that for the water and sewer system operated by Glwa, each system as a whole is assumed to experience revenue requirement increase of not more than 4% for each of the first 10 years under authority management. The rate and percentage increases for different customers may vary in order to meet the specific revenue requirement. What does that mean? We know y'all are going to answer, but at the same time, are y'all making the right move? Do we know that? We don't know that. So for for transparency's sake, you all should go over it since all of us are sitting here and everybody's on Zoom, and let us know what those two things are. Because we don't know. As customers, we know y'all gonna fall back and say, well, municipalities are the ones that increases and all that. That's another issue that we have to deal with. But we're dealing with this one right here, which we was talking about raising rates. And that should, handle it. Flint in Detroit, 46% of the drinking water. When it was taken, Coleman Young said, KWA and Glwa took it. But, was that my time?
Okay, yeah.
Our next speaker is Rich Jones.
Am I allowed to let somebody else know my time? I just have to go over here.
You cannot.
Well, first of all, I would just like to say I'm from Flint, Michigan. We cannot afford no water rate increase. We have already been done bad. We have a water expense called bottled water in Flint, Michigan also that y'all must take into consideration. Right now, I have 2 homes. One of them homes is running water and some kind of white film coming out. It is very thick. And it's just not fair to raise our rates and our legal. Really, y'all really should be looking into ways to decrease our payments. I really wish y'all would, and I really wish y'all could let this article finish telling y'all because I'm only up here because we have lost a lot of warriors. So I'm up here in place of those missing warriors. I wouldn't even be up here if those warriors was still standing here today, but I would also like to tell y'all that at home in Flint, Michigan, we have a meeting room where there's people listening to this meeting over Zoom, through phone call, and we have a lot of people that have called in and listening over Zoom. As a city, we stand against y'all raising our water rates. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Cynthia. Not certain of the last name.
Haynes. Cynthia Haynes. Thank you.
Whoever's running that camera is sick.
My speech is going to be personal. I'm a resident of Flint, Michigan. I'm a single mother. I work. I pay my bills. I pay my taxes. I work hard for my community. I come out, I support. I'm not the only one. We love our city. We love Flint. I love Detroit. I love Michigan. Anywhere I go, I represent Michigan. I was just out of Washington represent Michigan. This is raising water rates. It's going to hurt communities. It's going to hurt underserved communities. It's going to hurt our children. It's going to hurt families because families are already broken and they're already torn. Most of the communities between Detroit, Flint, Saginaw, and Pontiac are broken and they're underserved, lack of resources. And again, I understand inflation. I get that. I do. But where's the compassion? Especially for Flint. Flint, we was hit with a tragedy of poisoned water. Where it affected our children, our homes. It affected our water, our lands. Not even that, I have to speak for the people that live in the outskirts that have pumped water. when the poison water seeped into the ground, it had hit people with, well waters. That hurt them, so I can't just speak for Flint, I have to speak for outside my suburbs. I had a veteran that come to me. He couldn't even afford to pay for the pump, and it was so rusted. What I'm asking is that please be considerate and compassionate and think about the families that you hurt in the communities that's already broken and underserved. I'm a woman, and I'm not the only woman. And right now, women, we are carrying the weight. We carry the weight of the world. We carry the weight of our families, our communities. And this would be another tragedy to have the water rates just on top of raising on top of a lack of affordable housing. We got energy bills up. We dealing with crime in our communities. Lack of resources. I don't know where the money is going to, but by the time that the money gets to our communities, and not just black communities, we have white communities too, that are broken. So I'm asking you to take the time and pray about this, and please don't raise the water rates. Thank you.
I'm gonna sneak by you.
Speaker is Norrell Hemphill.
All right, we're going down. Yeah. Y'all need to check that guy for alcohol, whoever's running that camera. All right, that's all I can stand. Go ahead and head on back to Flint. I appreciate you checking in. Don't know if you can hear me, but hey, it's all good. Paul Herring signing off from Detroit, Michigan, the Glwa meeting. Guys, go on over to Zoom, check it out, get your voices heard, sign up to speak. They need to hear what you have to say. All right? Peace.